On today's episode, we're going to talk about all of the Week 15 injury updates, who's in and who's out, coming right up. And what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Gridiron Fantasy Football YouTube channel. This is Chip. I'm the host of the Gridiron Fantasy Football Podcast. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about all of the Week 15 injury updates, all the players who are in and who's out for your fantasy football semifinals. So let's start going into all of the players who are in for Week 15. Now, the biggest news is that Drew Brees is going to return for the New Orleans Saints against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 15. So that's good news for everyone who's an Alvin Kamara owner. For the last few weeks, we've noticed Alvin Kamara not have the same production. Taysom Hill is just a different type of quarterback that really didn't go and look for Alvin Kamara like Drew Brees does. So that's the good news about Drew Brees coming back for Alvin Kamara owners. However, Michael Thomas will not be playing. He's out on IR for the rest of the season. So with that being the case, he will not be good to go for Week 15. So pros and cons here, but Drew Brees is back. Matthew Stafford looks like he's going to be in for Week 15 as well. And then Gardner Minshew, he's going to be in for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, running back, looks like the 49ers running back, Raheem Mostert, he's going to be playing. So he should be sharing time with Jeff Wilson Jr., but he's good to go. Also, DeAndre Swift, he's going to be active for Week 15. Matt Breida will be active, and so will Chase Edmonds. So some guys here that you're going to play, obviously. The one of name that you're probably not going to play is Matt Breida. But with Myles Gaskins out still for Week 15, Matt Breida might be a flyer that you play in a deeper league, but those are the guys who are in. At wide receiver, it looks like Brandon Cooks will play, and it looks like Devontae Parker for the Miami Dolphins will try to play as well. Now, for the players that are out for Week 15, at quarterback, Alex Smith, he'll be out. He's dealing with the calf injury. He can't go, so Dwayne Haskins will be the guy who takes over for Alex Smith. Same for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones looks like he will not be playing, so Colt McCoy will take his place. At running back, Ronald Jones, he had a procedure done on his broken finger. And the Bucs also put him on the COVID-19 list. So Leonard Fournette will start for the Bucs on Sunday. Duke Johnson's going to be out. Looks like Antonio Gibson is trending. He's right now listed as doubtful, but looks like he's trending towards not playing. So that means that J.D. McKissick and Peyton Barber will be the guys that you have to replace him with. Like I said before, Myles Gaskins will be out. So if Myles Gaskins is out, there's a couple options there. Obviously, Matt Breida being active is an option. DeAndre Washington's an option. And then Lynn Bowden Jr. is another option as well. So really hard to determine. If I had to choose one from a PPR standpoint, I'm going with Lynn Bowden Jr. just because of what we saw last week. But that was without Matt Breida. So it's really hard to determine that. So if you can avoid and fade this Miami Dolphins backfield, that would be a good thing to do. And now the New England Patriots running back Damien Harris will not be active as well. So that means Sony Michel should get most of the workload. So if he's on your waiver wire and you really need a running back, maybe Sony Michel could help you out there. And then at wide receiver, like I mentioned, Michael Thomas, he was put on IR on Saturday. Looks like he'll miss the rest of the regular season. He should be back for the postseason for the Saints. However, does nothing for you in fantasy. He dealt with the high ankle sprain in Week 1, and he hasn't been the same since then. So it's good that they're going to try to shut him down for the NFL playoffs. Kenny Galday, out again, dealing with the hip injury. Hasn't played the majority of the season, so he's not going to play. Julio Jones is out, so obviously that's going to really give the Falcons offense a little bit of a downgrade. I'm not playing any of the Falcons unless you're Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley is a decent play just because he's been a top wide receiver all year. But when it comes like to Hayden Hurst or any of the running backs or Matt Ryan, really hard to play any of those guys. So Calvin Ridley would be the guy I would want to play. And then Deebo Samuel, he'll be out, which is good news for Brandon Ayuk owners because I think he's a good start in place of Deebo Samuel. And that tight end, George Kittle's trying to come back, but he's not able to make it back for Week 15. He'll be out. And Kyle Rudolph will be out again for Week 15 with the Vikings. That means Irv Smith Jr. will be the guy who replaces him, so might be a good play there as well if you need a tight end. Now, for the players that are probable, now there's nobody at quarterback, but at running back, Zeke is still dealing with a calf injury. He played last week. He wasn't very effective, but you still have to play Zeke if he's active just because of the workload, because of the talent. I know he has not been the Zeke Elliott that we've known in the last few years, but you still have to play him if he's available for you. Same thing for James Conner. He's questionable. Now he has a Monday Night Football game, so that's a little tougher. But if you have the direct backup to James Conner like Benny Snell or McFarland, then maybe that pivot that you have to go to. But I think James Conner is going to play. At wide receiver, Jamison Crowder is going to, he's questionable, but I think he's trending towards playing as well. At tight end, on Sunday night, Evan Ingram, he's been nicked up a little bit, but it looks like he'll play as well. Same as Mike Gesicki, dealing with a shoulder injury. He's been limited all week, but I think that he should be good to go to play. Unfortunately, they're playing against the Patriots. Tough matchup. One hit could knock him out of the game, so that's the only concern I have for Mike Gesicki. Jimmy Graham, he's questionable, but should play. But it looks like Cole Kmet is going to be the guy who's starting to kind of take over the starting tight end for the Chicago Bears. So I'm not going to play Jimmy Graham even if he's active. I just think that they're starting to go towards Kmet now. David Njoku and Austin Hooper, both of them are questionable. I have a feeling they're going to play, so I think that, you're not playing David Njoku. Only if Austin Hooper is not active, I think David Njoku is a guy that you can play and stream, but I'm not playing any of the Browns tight ends this week anyways. But and for game time decision or doubtful players, there's nobody on this list. This week has been kind of weird because we had our Thursday night games, then we had our 2 Saturday night games, and now we got the rest of the Sunday night games and the Monday night games. So there's really no game time, doubtful players right now. So with that being the case, that's all the injury updates for Week 15 for your fantasy football semifinal. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you have any injury questions, any start-sit questions, please do that. But if you want to subscribe to the channel, please hit subscribe so you don't miss any more episodes. If you want to follow us on social media, you can find us over on the Gridiron Pod on Facebook and Twitter. We're on Instagram at Gridiron Fantasy Football. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Now, good luck in your fantasy football semifinals. Hopefully, we'll make it to that championship game next week. So take care and good luck.